So this is my first Comic-Con. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And have you been able to go out and about?
Literally got here yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And woke up today and came straight here. So I haven't seen much. I've seen some people walking around.
Yeah.
But nothing super crazy.
Okay. Just me.
Right at the end.
So what should we expect kind of going into season 2 of the show now?
Gosh, I mean, a lot happens, even just in the first episode. You know, I think the first season, by the end, was pretty explosive. I mean, we have Max dying, and we have Noah dying. So that sets it off with a bang, you know, second season. As far as Alex goes, he realizes that, you know, he initially wanted to get out of the Air Force, but realizes that it's actually pretty important for him to stay in, so he can access confidential government information that might help figure out maybe how to bring Max back to life, potentially, kind of the history of the aliens in Roswell, and just how he can maybe like help the situation. And so he's fired up. Like, Alex has a lot of pent-up aggression. He's been through years of abuse and oppression, so he's very like, he's ready to fight. So he kind of started season 1 in a shell, and now in season 2, he's just like, he's ready to fight. He has fire inside of him. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where he starts off the season. I mean, we're shooting episode 5 right now, so I have no idea where it's all going to go. But as of now, that's kind of where he's at.
Is that how it works for the show? Is like you get the scripts and then you immediately film, and then you don't have the next episodes? You didn't have them all up front to kind of read front to back to your character. So you're learning kind of with the audience in a way. Yeah,
totally. And they write the episodes like. We basically get the final draft of a script 3 days before we start shooting it, basically.
Oh, wow.
And they'll even do revisions while we're shooting it, you know? So it definitely keeps you on your toes. Yeah.
What's in store for the two main relationships in your life? Alex and Michael, and Alex and his dad.
Yeah. So in season 1, at the end, you see Kyle Valenti hit my dad over the head. And so the beginning of season 2, he is kind of out of commission. Like, my dad is in the hospital, he's suffered some injuries, so it's kind of this power shift where Alex can utilize his dad's position to, you know, gain information, ask questions of him, and, you know, kind of put him under his thumb at that point, you know, which is fun. And then with Geron, you know, they have been through a lot together. They have a very intense relationship. It's almost like a love-hate, you know what I mean? And so I feel like this season, they just really, their goal is like, before anything happens, like, what's at the foundation of this relationship? Like, can we be friends even? Do we like each other even? Like, yes, we like to sleep together, and yes, we have this like cosmic bond, but do we like each other, you know? So this season, they're not really focusing on the romance aspect of their relationship. They both kind of try to date other people, actually, and kind of talk to each other about it. It's like, it's an interesting dynamic shift. Of course, there's sexual tension, but yeah, that's where it stops.
Are we going to see any hints of Alex's time in the war? And
God, you know, I love that idea. I don't know that we're going to do that this season or not. That wasn't part of like the original like overall season pitch that I heard, but I would love that. I think it could be really. It would just explain so much, you know. I think Alex a little bit too has a love-hate relationship with the Air Force and going to war, because it made him feel important, it made him feel needed, but it also, you know, he lost his leg. He went through a lot, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know for sure. It would be cool though. I think that we should.
Yeah, even just to show like how he lost his leg.
Yes, exactly.
Have backstory on that.
Yeah, I asked Karina that, and she told me what she was thinking, which I'm not going to tell you guys, but there's something in her brain. There's something in the works. So, yeah.
Good to hear. What was your favorite scene to shoot in season 1?
Season 1?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or season 2 if you want to spoil it.
Yeah, no, I can't really do season 2 yet. Season 1, that's hard. There were so many. There were so many scenes where I felt like, you know, it's funny because this show, of course, it's sci-fi, but it's like so grounded in reality at the same time. You know what I mean? Where you just like, you really get to explore like the human emotion of things. And working with Michael Vlamis is like pretty electrifying. Like, we really just do have good chemistry. And he and I are pretty different people, but like we really work well with each other. And I would say it has to be a scene with him. It's one of my favorite scenes, and I'm not sure which, but let me think for just a second. Honestly, I think it might have been in episode 12 or 13, where Alex finally decides I'm going to tell him exactly what I want. You know, I'm not going to walk away, and it's just so raw. And he's so honest. Like, Alex has such a hard time being open and honest because he doesn't like being vulnerable. And so it's such an honest response that comes out of his mouth. And I thought that was pretty intense and emotional, you know?
Would that be the most challenging scene?
It's funny because it's like, it's taxing, but it's not challenging. Like, I feel like there's something about our dynamic on set where we just allow each other to play and feel and explore. So it wasn't even like challenging, it was taxing because you have to, you know, get those emotions up and then like either like cut and do it all over again, you know, 10 more times, you know, for different camera angles and stuff. So yeah.
Is there a moment in the upcoming season of what you've already shot? Is there a moment that you can't wait for the fans to see?
Oh my gosh.
Just point us to that this episode.
Or tell us all about it.
Or
Yeah.
tell us all about it.
Let's see. It's just a sticky situation because I can't say too much. I mean, my mind is like going over so many things, and I'm like, I can't. I was literally instructed not to talk about that, not to talk about that. You know, there is one scene with his dad in the hospital that I think is pretty cool. Yeah, it's in episode 3, I believe.
So just to kind of wrap things up, I wanted to know, what would you say is one thing you really took from your character working on the show? Like, what got you into playing him? And then what's one thing that you've kind of learned about yourself through playing the character in both seasons now?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. I mean, for me, I feel that I was really excited to play a queer character because I am queer myself, and it was really important for me to play him honestly and to play him in a way that really depicted that inner struggle and that like inner shame and confusion, guilt, and all of those emotions that can come with that. So I think in a way it was like this show and like Alex's journey allowed me to be brave enough to be more honest and open with myself, about myself. I mean, to the public, to anybody, just because it's like, who fucking cares? You know, everybody has these emotions, everybody has the same feelings that the next person does. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, I think that was the most valuable, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like even though I wasn't like abused growing up by my father, I feel like I understand the idea of like wanting or questioning whether or not I'm getting the love that I want from my father and things like that, you know? And so I feel like there's like there's a lot of similarities, you know, and so it was cathartic to play that, you know.
Thank you so much. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Just a real quick one.
Yeah.
I know you had music last season. Are you going to have any
Yeah.
this season?
I don't have anything in the works, but I have my friend who I did the song with. We're talking about it again because Karina like just loves music and loves, you know, like bringing in other creative, you know, formats to the show. So you never know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.